Paul, okay, Paul was searching for that image, he typed.
Oh yeah.
This image. He typed this image. Dragon Ball.
Oh, one word.
One word. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And Google autocorrected it to Dragon Ball Fighters.
Which is the correct. Yeah, that is actually how the game is spelt.
So I should have been saying
thought
Dragon Ball Fighters.
I thought Dragon Ball was one word.
Yeah, me too.
According to the logo, it is, but according to the game's name on the box, it's yeah. And Fighter Z is one word apparently, even though it's a capital Z.
Wow. Wait, yeah, Dragon Ball is actually two words. I've never known that.
Yeah. So one would.
It's amazing. I've never cared.
Probably be. I mean, the reason why you don't know that.
I mean, I don't even know if I care
is
now,
because
but I've never known
clearly in the logo, it is clearly one word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like really obviously one word.
Yeah, there's no space. Either they've got some major issues with the kerning in that font, or maybe somebody is not on branding.
It's officially
guidelines.
pronounced Fighters, so it's Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Neat.
womp womp. But that's cool
it's
that
the
they
worst.
planned for
Yes.
somebody flying around the world to win all 7 qualifying tournaments.
Yeah, they basically wrote it in intercaps, except it's a small cap font, and also the second capital B, the capital B is small, so yeah, it's not. The Z's don't sound like S's, even if you know what, they can name it however they want. They can name it however they want. I just wish that name was then reflected in the title of the game. I am also looking at you, Camel Up. Oh no. The spelling police are after us.
No.
Alright, I'm going to stop recording now.
Sounds good.
Camel Up was on purpose. No.
I mean, maybe?
Maybe?
Like, it would be a weird thing to do on purpose.
Man, you know what game was actually super great was Camel Up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to switch it back to the wide shot there?
No,
Paul?
let's leave this on me. Hey, chat, let's wrap. It's time for a little Kathleen and chat time. Get out of my shot. No, get out of my shot. It's me time. It's my time to shine.
What's up?
That was it. Did you
No.
shine?
I was wasting all my time, my shine time, complaining about how it was my time to shine. And therefore I did not shine during
feel
my,
like there's a
my
message to
brief
be-
shine time.
There's like a moral to that story.
The next moral is that I actually just jammed my knee into one of the supports under the table, so I'm in a great deal of pain right now.
I'm really sorry. I've done that a lot, and it sucks. Are you all right?
Like right into the fleshy part, like right beneath the kneecap for
What did
maximum injury.
What did we learn, ladies, or boys and girls?
That my knee is very sore.
That's right.
Ah, okay. Whew, that hurt. So news. That's the news that we wanted to talk about. What's the news that we also thought was interesting, but maybe didn't write a story about?
Well, actually, I just wanted to talk real quick about the joke in the intro there with doing a journalism. We are done recording. Yes. Because
Heather's the best.
because a lot of it's.
You got some very nice feedback.
Got some
on
very
that
nice
PUBG
feedback.
story.
It's just this is well, again my ongoing plea for nuance on the internet related to that is that not all game journalists are bad.
No, lots of
I think that all these websites writing a story and making assumptions based on that one article from the Korea Times, that was not great. But there was a lot of really good reporting out there that was all spread out and scattershot, and people weren't paying attention to it because when Polygon and Kotaku and Waypoint and all these sites do, and Newsweek and like Forbes do these.
Forbes, you cannot assume has good journalism because
No.
Forbes,
It's like a blog model.
Yeah, it's a blog model,
Anyway,
and just anyone can get their shit up there.
When all these sites do the one story on this one source, that disseminates the misinformation very, very quickly. But all those sites that I mentioned, we reference all the time and have really good people working there and do good work.
So we should definitely give them credit.
Yeah. Forbes.
We've been on panels with Mike Footer.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
For whatever reason, Forbes is a very handy place to look now for like
hot takes.
Well, no, but like when I'm looking for, it's like, hey, what are the new games that are coming out in this month?
Yeah.
Like Forbes is always the top, like their list is always top. It's like, yes, Forbes, where I go for information about new video game releases. It's like,
Aw.
Oh, thank you, Panic Fox. That means a lot.
We try really hard. We're not perfect.
What's the site Kathleen used to work for? It was
Inside Mobile Apps.
Yeah, it was part of Inside Network. Are they still around?
No.
Ah,
Absolutely not.
well, there we go.
But they paid me pretty well while I worked there, and I got to go to San Francisco a lot, which was fun.
And yeah, Kathleen did the whole Triple Town, Yeti Town thing.
Busted that story wide open.
Haha.
apologies for the clip from my mic has gone away somewhere. So
I still, and to this day, the Spry Fox guys are very grateful to Inside Mobile Apps, and I'm not taking all credit for this. My editor at the time, AJ Glasser, who I think she now works for Unity, AJ was like, "This is a big deal, and we should cover this because these guys are nice guys, and they're absolutely getting screwed." And part of like the media coverage really helped them not get screwed over by having their game stolen, and their incredibly good concept ripped off. And I have a signed Triple Town poster hanging up in my kitchen still.
Oh yeah,
From those guys. They're really good.
Which really, it's. Did you know that game's about colonialism? It is.
Yeah.
And the poster is
Triple Town?
Yeah. The poster is literally a silhouette of one of the really cartoony Triple Town bears in the very, very, very foreground, like beside a tree on a hill, looking out to the bay as 3 sailing ships pull into the bay, and it's like, oh, that's even more on the nose than I thought. So anyway.
all right, yeah, other stories. Well, stories that we talked about. We actually did do about.
I love the idea that they have a plan for what if someone wins all 7 of the.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're skipping. You're
No.
going to the thing.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was like, why? Why do you? Who is going to do this? The prize for the whole thing is $60,000.
Which is
a lot of money, but not enough to travel flying around the world to 7 different tournaments and lodgings and being there long enough not to be jet lagged while you're doing this incredibly high level competition.
And
right?
in video game tournament terms, that isn't even that impressive. But I do like that they have a contingency.
Yeah. Someone, I think it was actually Dark Morford in chat, just talking about the Nintendo story, was saying like, who would leak dev menu? I guess maybe leaked is no. It's
No,
not.
it was a leak.
It was a leak. So it may not have been necessarily intentional, but how they got a hold of the dev menu app was someone bought a non-functional Switch at on essentially Craigslist or something, and it turned out to be a dev kit. And so they were like, hey, I found this. What's up with this thing? And then it was like, that's a dev kit. And then they got the dev menu app off that. And then apparently it's like not even that difficult to install if you already have the hacked firmware. And then really, apparently all you can really do with dev menu right now is
Change your
avatar.
So yeah, just to be clear, this
And the
isn't
thing
like
is, your avatar doesn't even show up in that many games.
Yeah, this isn't like a special thing with Mario Odyssey or anything like that.
No.
It's just the Luigi's Balloon Hunt is like the one place where you can reliably get your avatar to show up, and it's obviously a very popular game.
Yeah, the article on Kotaku linked to a thread on the Nintendo subreddit, which was like, hey, heads up, people, you should watch out for this, and here's some examples that I've censored, but be aware. And one of the top comments is like, wow, sure are a lot of comments below that don't seem to have any problem with kids seeing this stuff. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, the internet.
But this is why everybody has the avatar creation utility or whatever.
Yeah.
because I mean,
And if you can make stuff out of those, then fair play to you.
yeah, I was gonna say
Like when people made Admiral Akbar out of the Wii face thing, it's like,
people
okay,
were remarkably, and I'm sure there's various pictures of dicks and things that people managed to make out of the Mii maker, but anyway.
Then the Brazilian Dota team, it's weird. So
If you follow Dota in chat, like if you follow Dota, if you know what
you
Dota
probably
is,
know all about this,
or at least you understand what he was doing with Meepo.
In the side image that we showed there,
yeah, that's the tournament log.
Was the tournament log, and it shows that. Here, I think I can actually pull it up. But
the TLDR for what this ability was in the story, but
I didn't want to go too deep in case.
Yeah.
Right.
The not quite as short TLDR is that Meepo splits into a bunch of different Meepos, basically, and you can control each one of them individually.
And then they can do a poof ability where they explode. And
well,
if there's
they
multiple
teleport,
Meepos together,
they teleport from where they are to another Meepo,
and
they do a little explosion from where they leave and where they arrive. So if you have them, you can have them all go hup 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 hup, and get them all to go to one and do a bunch of stuff there.
So yeah, it's
and then they can really you can really get people with that.
So yeah, that's the problem.
So you can see there that the time code on all three moves is identical.
Which is like
as in they
impossible.
were fighting. Yeah, because the idea is that you have to control all the Meepos individually. So even if you've got like hotkeys on like switching to them, it should still be switch fire, switch fire, switch fire. So that's but
so the problem is people were like, hey,
how is that possible? That's not possible.
You must be using a macro. And the team was like, no, we're not using a macro. The reason that those all showed up in the log at the same time is because of a software thing that we have running for the mouse that we use, so that the mouse can do different inputs, and it's just how he's controlling the game. And then other people are like, that's what a macro is.
Just because it's on a mouse doesn't mean it's not a macro.
Yeah, I don't have a dog in that fight, but it sounds like they're trying to be like, no, it's not a macro because it's not a keyboard. It's a mouse binding, and other people are like, that's the same thing.
I think I think the argument was that it's using like the driver software for this, like it was like a Razer mouse or whatever. So like it wasn't like they installed some sort of third-party hack program.
Right.
This is just what this mouse does. But that is clearly a macro.
Yeah.
And if macros aren't allowed, then
Which they're not.
Yeah.
Then that's not allowed. So they've been banned, and that's the end of that. I think you went into pretty good detail on the Bethesda story, the source code one.
Yep. Is I small point that again this is the sort of thing that does bother me in the way that this information gets disseminated, is that it's like Bethesda found bugs in the Westworld game that were the same as bugs in Fallout Shelter, and everyone's like, ha ha ha, Fallout Shelter, so buggy, because it's a Bethesda game, ha ha, Bethesda bugs. Except that this is actually really interesting that Warner Brothers wouldn't have known about this, because these are bugs that were found in initial builds and fixed before public release of Fallout Shelter. QA. But that are present in the available version of Westworld, which is why Bethesda was like, wait a minute, you're using our source code. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But
wait, before I just want to go back. Somebody in chat was like, what's exactly a macro here? A macro is basically a series of commands that you can get your computer to execute automatically. Typically, you see them in stuff like Excel for like sum, add tax, and then like divide by 12 or something like that, right? So you can work out like a monthly amount if you have a yearly income, and then blah, 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 right? Just to save yourself a few clicks of doing the same repetitive thing over and over again. And of course, people in like World of Warcraft and stuff will like bind macros for like heal all and like, you know, drink potion and then heal all, or something like that, that you need to do. Like, I know Paladin players use them a lot because there's a lot of clicking on the same thing over and over again and pressing the same key
There's
buttons.
lots of situations where they're not only allowed, but like encouraged by games. Like it's not necessarily a cheating thing, but in tournament situations,
you're not supposed to use macros because it's supposed to be about like skill and reaction and actually playing the game, and not. It's basically like using a tool or like a pogo stick, in in an actual sport or something.
Doodles points out, hey Graham, this proves Warner Brothers is lousier at QA than Bethesda, something for which they are going to get so much shade.
I can't think of any sport in which having a pogo stick would be an advantage. Even like the long jump, I don't know if I would want to do it with a pogo stick.
Yeah.
Anyway. So...
Other stories.
It's like using a car in a foot race as God of Muffins, kinda, yeah, or like a Razor scooter or something.
And the other thing about the Westworld Bethesda thing, which is similar to the other one we talked about last week, is that it's important to note that just similar games is fine.
Yeah.
It's like, when you start getting into these people had access to proprietary information that they weren't supposed to
and then
either weren't supposed to have access to or weren't supposed to disseminate. That's the illegal part, not the copying part.
Yeah, doing a similar game, fine. And even Warner Brothers going to the same developer and being like, hey, we want you to make us a Fallout shelter for Westworld. That's also okay, unless the dev and Bethesda already had an agreement saying that they wouldn't make a competing thing, which is also common. But it sounds like that wasn't actually part of the problem.
No.
But yeah, the issue is like, they were like, hey, we want you to make us a Fallout shelter and also give us all of the sort of the demographics and marketing data for Fallout shelter so that we know how successful it will be.
Also, we want to just use the
also
same
the code
that
like realistically, I can't. Like, when you think about it from, like, behavior's point of view, theoretically, in order to do it, like, totally above board, they would have had to just rewrite the exact same game again without using any of their previous code, which would have been pretty, like, it's just, there isn't really a good way for them to do that. Yeah. Like, it was a bad deal. Anyway.
Okay. So, you probably heard about...
TanaCon.
Well,
that's our outro.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's what we're referencing.
Right.
It was a big disaster.
I forgot about that.
You can look at some great threads online on Twitter.
I was going to jump to the other story. Oh, I guess Final Fantasy VII also is another thing.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, they're actually working on it now. Great, see it in 9 years. Just admit you're on Atlas time, it's fine.
Yeah.
We've come to accept it from them. We'll accept it from you. Just tell us.
The guy that was working on it
it'll be done when it's
was
done.
also the guy working on Kingdom Hearts 3,
Nomura.
which presumably is actually coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now he has a bunch of time to work on Final Fantasy VII, I guess.
It's interesting. Just speaking of Bethesda, this year at their E3 showcase, they sort of broke their own rule a little bit because they announced that they're working on a new IP in Starfield, and they did that little teaser for Elder Scrolls 6. But apart from that, everything that one of Bethesda's sort of mandates for their E3 showcase is like everything we're showing you, you're going to be able to play within the next calendar year, starting now. Right? That's been sort of like their thing, which is one way of doing it. I quite like. Nomura was talking in this interview about like he would rather get that information out there ahead of time so people stop fucking pestering them. Right? Like they announced Kingdom Hearts at E3 2013, which he says is earlier than they should have, because people just kept being like, tell us, and they wanted to be like, yes, we're working on it.
I mean, it's and there's also the thing where it's like, it's not necessarily we want people to stop pestering us, it's when you're ramping up to a development like that, it's almost impossible to not have little leaks.
Exactly.
And
he said people in the industry were already sort of murmuring that they were working on the Final Fantasy VII remake.
You have to put out job applications and stuff.
And so he said that they were like...
At least you can kind of control the...
Yeah, they were like, okay, we're working on it, but it was obviously way too soon. So.
Yeah.
Well, and also they didn't... Like, if they had done, we're working on it, it will come out, blah, then yeah. But they were like... They were working... It's also that everyone was like, great, remake, that's awesome. You've made like 30 of these in the last 2 years, so it shouldn't take you too long to make.
Well, except they're remaking
Now
everything because
yeah.
now people want action combat gameplay instead of turn-based role-playing games. So they're
Yeah.
redesigning the combat system.
They've found people, apparently, I have yet to meet a single person who said that, but apparently some people did. So here we are.
Yeah. So I think the TLDR is it'll be done when it's done. Maybe 5 or 6 years from now.
So,
Just in time for everyone to want a new remake.
you may have seen that Fortnite is coming out on the Switch.
Yes.
And you may have also heard that Sony somewhat hilariously is mishandling the way
They're
that
being very
your
Sony about it.
Epic accounts will work. In that, this is again a reminder. I think we talked about this. I don't know if I don't think
talked
it was in
about
the
it-
actual show.
no,
It was
we
in
talked
the
about it
actual
in the show,
But
yeah.
basically, if at any point you used your Epic account to log in to Fortnite on a PS4, you now cannot log into it on your Switch
That's it.
or Xbox.
You're locked.
because
You're
Sony
now a Sony person.
does not want to play.
You can't get out of Sony's walled garden.
So the other folks are having fun with this.
Rightly so.
There was a trailer for Minecraft on the Switch that just went up on Nintendo's YouTube channel showing one player on a Switch and another player using an Xbox controller, and then at the end there's like green and red screens being like build together, play together, and it says Xbox and Switch.
Yeah, they did actually. I was.
It actually it wasn't subtle. It was
Yeah, I was
the
wondering whether
Xbox
they would
logo.
actually show the Xbox logo, but because they sort of conspicuously didn't show it on the controller, but they
Yeah.
do actually show it at the end.
And then also their Twitter accounts are having fun. The UK accounts always seem to have a lot more fun, but the Twitter accounts were sort of like, I believe it was the Xbox one, or maybe I think it was the Nintendo one, was saying like, hey, at Xbox, since we can't play Fortnite, you want to go build something in Minecraft together? And it was like,
It's pretty
Yeah.
like considering that that like Nintendo especially
French
is
cancel
notorious
Sony.
for being extremely, brand protective and not. I mean, you can say that they don't play well with others in a lot of cases.
yeah.
The fact that the idea of like a co-branded Nintendo and Microsoft ad is pretty it's pretty amazing. I don't know if it's happened before. I don't think so. It's almost like Mario and Sonic at the Olympics or something. It's like, what?
Yeah, Nintendo
These
being
two companies
so up for
working
this
together?
is surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually this was a Nintendo made thing, not an Xbox made
But
thing.
if you do want to play Fortnite on the PS4, because you don't have a
'Cause
Switch or an
you
Xbox,
only have
and
PC
you're
and
fine with
PS4.
that, you can get a new Royale Bomber costume. This is apparently PS4 exclusive.
No, it's not PS4 exclusive. It is exclusively with the Fortnite PS4. The only way to get
Yeah.
it is to
Oh.
buy
Buy
this special edition PS4,
The PS4 bundle.
which is the worst. Even if you have a PS4 and Fortnite, you still don't get it. You have to buy another PS4.
Well, it's really dumb.
So this is effectively like a $400 skin.
Yeah. Now,
I look
unless
forward
you-
to rich YouTubers bragging about this.
if you have,
And they've said that, at least at the moment, they've said that they are not making it available any other way.
yeah, if you have Fortnite for PS4, you can play with players on PC, iOS, or Android.
That's
It's true. It's just the other consoles that they don't
not-
like.
But the other consoles don't even get mentioned.
Yeah.
Sony's statement was, you can cross-play with players on PC, iPhone, or Android.
And I mean, obviously with with Xbox in particular, like it's literally the same system. Like Windows versus Xbox. Like Microsoft has spent the last 5 years or so.
Converging their systems,
Yeah.
which is probably a great idea in
And
the long run,
In
honestly.
fact, to the extent that I believe it was for Fortnite that Sony by mistake enabled compatibility between them by hitting a checkbox where they weren't supposed to, and then they had to push out an update to stop that.
I think that might have been Rocket League.
Was that Rocket
Yeah,
League?
that was Rocket League.
Anyway, but the idea being that it's actually like if you're making it work on with Windows, Xbox is not that big a deal. Epic, yeah.
Darren says, wait, you also get 500 V-Bucks.
Yeah, that's like $5.
Wow.
Maybe
Sony aren't capable of seeing the other consoles. Like, are they cursed, or is it like how dogs can't see colors?
Yeah, they just, or it's just like the heads of, they always just like, whenever they're doing like the earnings reports to the CEO of Sony, there's always just like weird conspicuous blank spots on the card, on the sheet. It's like, I see, #1 in the region again. Good job, everybody. All right. It's like, should we tell him? No.
It's the Steam summer sale, and for the first time in a couple years, they have gamified it again, and apparently the gamification is bad, but people are playing a lot of it, and nobody knows why they're playing it.
Well, they're writing scripts to play this stupid game for them because the game is so awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not really any prize or reward promised, but people are still like cheating the hell out of the system anyhow.
Yeah, there's
getting Steam avatar, like Steam profile swag that they
it looks like a little like old, Flash game or something, basically.
Yeah.
I love what's the description of what you're gonna get, because you can join like clans or like the whatever they call Steam groups.
Yeah.
So you have different groups, which apparently one of the groups that's actually like has most of it locked down.
It's like the default biggest Steam group.
It looks like a game that was...
It's like a Flash game.
It looks like a game that was like knocked together by Jessica on the weekend for fun. Like, it looks like it was just some single person at Valve who was like, I'm gonna make the summer sale game.
And then you're like, Jessica, that's amazing for just working by yourself for like 48 hours. And she's like, yeah, I just made a cup of coffee and like just cranked it out. Like, there's some things I'd change about, but I'm pretty happy for like a first attempt.
We published it.
Yeah.
What?
It's live. Excuse me?
Yeah. Excuse me while I just drink this large mouthful of coffee. Yeah. But yeah, I love this on the games instructions page. It says, the group with the most tiles when a planet is taken will get to plant their flag as conquerors, undoubtedly gaining Saleverse, which is the name of Saleverse, as in sales, Saleverse-wide fame in the process. And then in this article on Kotaku, they're like, okay, that definitely sounds like a fancy way of saying you're going to get nothing. So, anyway.
And the only other...
there's mannequins in the new PUBG map. Apparently they're
going to say,
scary.
the only other story we had was that there are mannequins in the PUBG
And they're creepy.
Apparently, I think they're only in one building, in the upper floor of a building in the Sanuk map.
And then you go into
There's just dead-eyed mannequins.
And you go in there and you're like, see a human-shaped thing and you're like, ah!
Yeah, considering how like highly tuned the reflexes of the average PUBG player are, I can imagine that's like, it just seems like whatever faceless corporation or whatever set up is, in the mythology of PUBG, set up this competition, is definitely trolling the people playing.
In other Twitch news, it's
of course that corporation also sends just like missiles into the area every once in a while for no reason. So,
in other Twitch gaming news, it is Summer Games Done Quick right now.
Oh yeah.
And if you are interested in a great VOD to watch, I recommend the Resident Evil 4 run from the other night. It's a new game run, which means they don't have any of the special weapons, and it's super interesting. One of my favorite things, because I love how speedrunning works. So they play on professional difficulty, which is the hardest.
Right, of course.
Because, it's like, why play it on the hardest mode? Well, because Resident Evil 4 had this really interesting difficulty scaling mechanic, where if you're doing very, very well, the enemies are more aggressive and do more damage, and if you're doing badly, then that backs off a little bit. And in professional mode, it's all cranked up to full. It is always they're the most aggressive and they do the most damage.
Right.
Which means they are predictable. So
they'll always come right at you.
If you get hit, they'll do a lot of damage. But ideally, because it's a speed run,
These
you
people
aren't
aren't
getting hit.
concerned with the same things that we are in games, like being hit by enemies. You know?
Yeah. I'm guessing chat is trash still. It's not as bad this year because it's still sub-only mode like it was last time. But because it's the second time being sub-only mode, the entire chat isn't just talking about how it's sub-only mode. So it's like, it's better than it was. It's still, I would still just hide the chat. You don't need it. The people doing the commentary, certainly not for this VOD, the people doing the commentary did an excellent job of it.
Like in the
I wouldn't bother.
best case scenario, the chat is sort of not productive.
Yeah.
Like best case scenario, it's not actually
It's
like
not adding anything to the experience.
it's still not adding anything to experience.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it's actually like actively ruining your experience.
Detrimental, yeah.
But it's there's even if it was in the best possible like even if everybody was being very nice in the chat, it's just when you have so many people and things are moving so fast, there can't really be anything coherent happening.
I'm still amazed what an excellent job is done with Desert Bus chat. Well, first of all, thank you. We really appreciate that, and it's a testament to the great mod team we have. Secondly, we don't have 120,000 people watching.
Yeah. To be fair,
We would probably also have to go into sub-only mode.
yeah.
Or just put the whole chat into the sea. Who knows? But,
Yeah, if we had
Yeah.
120,000 people watching, we might be like, hey, mods, don't worry about it. Just go have a nap.
Kick
We're
back.
turning everything off.
put up your
There's
feet.
no way you can be expected to handle this wave of
Just cut
feculence.
to someone carrying like a tower for a Pentium 256.
Yeah.
Like, this is the computer with all of chat on it.
Bye.
Ron Swanson.
It's also like, because the Desert Bus, the actual, like, nobody is chatting about the game of Desert Bus.
That's also fair jaded sinning. I mean, at least it's an impenetrable sea of nice comments.
Exactly.
I appreciate that just the sheer speed can still be overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
But that is at least pleasant.
Suffix does says he has an extra tower lying around that if we do need to send something into the sea.
Terrific.
That
That was all we had, I think.
All right.
That was it. But hey, the
All the
news is
news.
back after
There was
E3.
no other news
No, my back is sore.
from all the news.
No, from all
From
of
carrying this show.
from all of the digging around in the dirt
Oh,
yesterday.
okay, I got you.
And all
Oh,
of the
I thought you meant for the gaming news.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, I just shifted and I was like,
Dig in the
it's
dirt.
Right. We have potted plants on
Digging
our
up.
balcony now.
Nice.
Yeah. We got a Japanese maple. I'm real excited about it.
It's gonna be beautiful in 5 years. I mean, it's nice
not
now.
It's not even that bad now, TBH. So, I may have the line in a
Poor
capsule
Japanese
machine
maple.
and a bunch of empty capsules might be good for some Desert Bus goofs. Oh, what could we put?
Her own gachapon machine.
What could we put into a gacha machine?
I can
Like
think.
a physical one.
Yeah, I can feel like a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of things that could go in there.
We have we have a succulent. In fact, well, we had one and it died, but now we have a different one.
No, we have lots of succulents.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
It died because I overwatered it.
Less cool than you think than the name would imply.
Oh, don't eat them. They're not that kind of succulent.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we
But they're
could
fun.
do? Is if we could get a gacha machine, we could put a bunch of like old buttons in there, and like pins and stuff like that, and do like.
Oh, like as a prize bonus thing?
Yeah.
You can't add too much because then don't forget.
'Cause then
the
Ashley
prize,
will get
they
mad
have
at
to,
us.
Well, they have to write down every single thing on the Tide Pods. Perfect.
No.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Just spin the gacha machine and you have to eat whatever's in the capsule.
What about just Tide Pods so people can do laundry? It doesn't have to be an eating thing.
That's true. Anyway,
All right.
I think that is it. We are going to take off and get some food and do a bit more work, and then you are going to want to come back tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific for
2 hours.
for the conclusion of Enigma of the
Yay!
Star Tunnels.
The exciting conclusion.
Yes.
When we last
Excitement
left
not
our
guaranteed.
heroes Inspector Assayer was very.
Don't worry,
was
we're
having a
gonna
great.
do subs. Don't
I know.
worry.
Was having a great time, having a new experience of having Carfax vomit all over them.
Yes, and
Morph.
also just to let you know, Cam is going to be back this week.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of, I was telling Graham about this, but speaking of the podcast, I got an email from Podbean, which is a podcast subscription service that we do not use.
Nope.
So presumably they access our RSS, they like rebroadcast our people's RSS feeds on
Right.
iTunes,
Which is
or whatever.
fine. More people hearing the content is fine.
Yeah. But apparently it allows the function for people to comment
Yes.
on podcasts, which so this is the first time anybody has commented on a podcast of ours that is on Podbean.
Yeah. The first time ever.
Ever.
Yeah, and the comment is, "Am I the only one who honestly loves Arby's?" So
I knew what it was, and it still made me laugh.
Arby's has some hardcore fan base out there.
In answer to your question.
Their street team
No,
is looking
absolutely
up
not.
Arby's references all over the place.
In answer to your question, yes, we found you.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm sure many people unironically love Arby's. I just threw it out
Love
there.
Arby's?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Love?
Graham, people love all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
The general. I've seen a lot
Some
of
people eat hair.
I've seen a lot of people being objecting to the degradation of Arby's, not because they love it, but because it's like not the worst.
I will admit, whoever's
Which
running
is-
their Twitter account does amazing work. Does amazing work, is terrific at papercraft, and is a massive weeb, and definitely our age. Because it's all references to stuff like Evangelion and Furikuri and stuff like that.
Somebody at Panic Fox says Arby's is one of my favorite restaurants, and that's fine. We're not casting aspersions. It was a throwaway joke. I was like, what's the stupidest thing I can say right now? And my brain was like, Arby's. That's not even remotely in the right universe, right? And then it sort of became a running gag.
I guess they're gone now. We only had one Arby's in town, and it was in the food court. And
Yeah, it's a curry place now.
Yeah, I think the
Curry
curry
Point.
place is a major
Yeah.
upgrade, though. Because Cam could not eat at Arby's, but he can eat at Curry Point.
It's true. I mean, yeah, from Cam's perspective, certainly Arby's is not like a great place to go. Anyway, let's
Let's thank
rock
the
in some
subs.
Starting with Suitably Epic for 54 months.
Wow, what an
that
echo.
was suitable. G Dwarf, with a 50-month resub. 50, that's as many as 5 10s, and that's wonderful.
It's Sindane Tierney for 7 months says, hooray, Rhythm Cafe is back after a 1-week hiatus.
Samurai Tiger.
These are from last night.
What?
These are from last night.
Are they?
Ian, please break out the bass guitar and play some more Rocksmith.
That.
Bring forth the rhythm and rhyme game. LRR got them good vibrations.
Nothing.
Thanks everyone who subbed during Rhythm Cafe. We really appreciate it.
Why is that?
But these are not current.
Neeson 29.
Clear.
Cthulhu Dude.
Oh, I totally grabbed him. Too old. Oh, good thing we stopped too, because there were a bunch. Okay, here we go. That's my bad.
It's your friend and mine, Lord Crusher for 32 months.
Oh,
A round number of months in base 2.
neat. So then back to Paul. Yeah.
Psychic catch-up for 52 months. Hey, folks, hope you're having a lovely day.
Am, honestly. Thank you for asking. For
course.
stating. Schwarm! With an 18-month resub. Thank
He
you so
knows
much.
because he's psychic.
Oh, right, of course.
Just a Conspiracy for 10 months says, seems like any anniversary is celebrated with CheckPoint now.
It's the CheckPoint anniversary.
The gift is
Mirk.
points.
For 2 months. Welcome back, Mirk.
Merk. Frizzle66, a brand new sub. Welcome. Thank you.
It's Bud AV, who's been here for 16 months. That's a leap year.
Ekrikaya
Escherichia.
Arichia Cole, 53 months.
Hi, Erica. Thank you.
Narita L with a 3-month resub. Welcome back.
It's generic evil genius for 49 months. Those 49 months of never missing a checkpoint thanks to my lovely darling Murnus. Love you, cuddlebutt.
Aw, cuddle butt.
Jasaria for 5 months. Time for my checkpoint resub.
Cetorox with an 8-month resub. Yay, journalism! Thank you.
It's Wheelie, who's been here for 15 months.
Neko Daimyo
Daimyo.
for 7 months. Seemed like a good time to press this button.
It's always a good time to press that button. Eternal Density with a 10-month resub. That's 5 glorious months more than 5 glorious months. I will defend, but mostly importantly, I stand in a cherry picker with my arms in the air. Glorious months.
Neuter Commuter for 19 months says, good news! If you use newticles as a topic for the panelists, the rest ad-libs itself.
Deadly Partition for 23 months. 23 months? That's really almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Lord Hosk with a 25-month resub. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ah me, how hard a thing it is to say, what was this forest savage, rough and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear.
Whoa.
Cool.
I don't know what that's a reference to. I'm unread.
You're up.
Delta V, 27 months. Thank you.
Railroad Tycoon 2 for 20 months. 20 months? That counts as a checkpoint, right? Maybe it's just a milestone.
It's the opening of the Inferno. Edgar J with a 12-month resub. The 1 year. This really doesn't feel like a year, but hope I can watch your content for at least another one. Aww. So do we. Thank you.
It's Coslin Cabist for 17 months. Colson Cabist.
Mr. Paul Caruso for 6 months.
Thank you, Lord Hosk. I hope I did it justice. In Volume, 21-month resub says, whoop!
And thanks for 251 bits from
Earthen One, My Name is E, and Panicked Fox.
We like to read the people who give the bits.
I know,
typically do.
Yeah, but you were doing it, so I was like, okay.
It's a Panicked Fox. Luckily, they weren't so panicked that they were unable to donate bits.
Wow. Priorities, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean... Which, considering they're a fox, is actually pretty impressive.
It's more like...
Yeah, to be able to not only, like, just a fox just operating a computer to begin with is impressive, but doing so while panicked. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe that's why they're panicking. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Am I supposed to update the system? No, I don't.
So maybe the bits are a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody asked in chat about the panelists. I have a really hard time getting the panelists out the door while we're doing a PPR because Thursday is the day I edit the panelists, and I got behind because of the first PPR, and then I just about caught up, but then I was behind again. So the episode's like half done, and instead of like finishing the episode and putting it up, I was building my deck and spending time with our guests and doing the things that we have to do at the PPR. And then you always think you're going to get stuff edited, but you don't during the actual event because it's really distracting and there's sick plays happening and you're coming in and out and stuff. So I'm going to try to get that finished tomorrow.
Hashtag
maybe we'll just take a week break PPR. On the panelists and because I guess I should have come in on my 1 day off a week to finish it, but I was like, no.
No. Family day is important.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just put up a vlog last night from last week.
Yeah.
Father's Day. Okay, let's go get some food.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
You can also get some food.
See, go to Arby's, in fact, if that's what strikes your fancy. And if it doesn't, you don't have to. We're not here to tell you what to do or judge.
Nor are we sponsored by
Actually,
Arby's.
that's a fucking lie. I'm here to tell you what to do, and that's be kind to others and spread goodness in the world, and I will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we kind of judge a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're not doing those things.
Yeah, then I will judge you.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.